Life is very chaotic and sport is very, very, very chaotic. When you do compete, everything's overwhelming. Like, you're dealing with crowds. You think about strategy, you think about money.
In this world of esports, victory isn't just about reflexes and skill. It's about the battle won in the mind, with psychologists playing a vital role in shaping the champions of tomorrow.
When I was younger, I was a bit of a people watcher, so I'd always wonder what's going through people's heads. When people are back against the wall, what do they actually do? How does like a mum lift a car up when their baby is like trapped underneath it? And I've always wondered, what does it take to kind of reach your potential in that way? And what I care about is performance, really. I like winning and seeing a game like VALORANT and seeing a game like League of Legends and then seeing the stage and the arena and the emotions that's involved. It doesn't really differ from something that ranges from Formula 1 to snooker to darts to rugby to football. When people are competing to be the best they can be, inspired me to really want to work more in esports.
Esports and traditional sports follow pretty similar patterns. The only difference is that in esports you've got the additional stressor of getting the communication right.
I played rugby before, and that's a 15-man sport. Each individual has their role to do, and I don't need to worry too much about strategics. But I think in esports, there's more of a need to be strategically aware or more strategically knowledgeable, at least performing at the highest level. The difference in approaches I take is that I need to manage people's time a bit better. In traditional sports, people will maybe train for like 2-3 hours in a day and then kind of be done, and then they'll have more free time. But in esports, you can have scrims that will last 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours.
It's difficult finding a balance because you need to make sure that you give the players enough information but not overwhelm them with too much to remember so that they forget to play their own games.
And then it's trying to manage how can I train effectively but also recover effectively at the same time.
Because we have a sports psychologist, we do our healthy routines. Eating really healthy food, for example, pokeballs consists of like green vegetables, rice and chicken, that's it.
So nutrition is important when you're playing because there's certain nutrients that are very important for brain performance basically. And we want to make sure that the guys get that. It's really common at LANs for people to get sick because they're traveling a lot, they're getting stressed a lot as well. So if your food is bad, then you're going to be more likely to be ill. So the things that you eat is going to be very, very important. With this team, we have a mental map. So on that mental map, we can identify where they are on that week. Some people, when they're burnt out, they might feel isolated or start isolating themselves from other people. There's dimensions to burnout. There's one where you don't really think performance really matters too much. Then there's that aspect of emotional exhaustion where you just feel like you just have no energy.
With the teams I work with, I normally look at their scrim schedule and I make sure that they're having like enough time off so they can be regular people. If you're at an elite level, you probably have to forego a little bit of that to perform at the highest level. Burnout is one of those things that can sneak up on you. Once it hits you, it's like there's nothing you can do. So the idea is to try and avoid burnout in the first place.
There's a lot of aspects that makes an elite performer. So some people feel really stressed under competition situations. Some people maybe need to have more motivation. Some people need to address their nerves.
Trying to remove any kind of fear from your mind. If you're afraid when you head into an official, it's not good. It makes you play scared, it makes you play timid.
Am I on the same page with my leaders? Do I trust in my teammates? Do I feel like I have the ability to actually perform at my best?
Most people have experienced playing under some sort of pressure, and some people are okay at playing under pressure and some people are not. So it's talking about regulating yourself so that you can get the best performance you possibly can. And so I try and teach people methods of calming themselves down, or maybe sometimes you need to lift your energy up.
A sports psychologist's role is to be someone's therapist when it comes to them in performance. It's about helping the athlete become the best version of themselves and helping them understand what confidence is, understand what motivation is, helping them feel like they have all the tools that they need to perform the task that's in front of them.
But what happens when defeat becomes a constant companion, weighing heavy on the minds of even the most skilled athletes?
So when a team is down, the first bit is also letting them feel what they're going to feel. Or you think, oh, you should be feeling a bit better, or I want to try and make them feel better. But the reality is that this is what their reality is right now, and that they need to just experience the suck.
It feels really hard to deal with. Like, you know that the fans are going to say horrible things about you on social media and whatever else. We've had instances in the past of people like retiring or committing suicide or whatever because of mental health issues, and it's widespread in our industry because people are just really, really nasty online, and it does weigh on you.
In all sports across the board, esports and traditional sports, the prevalence of anxiety and depression is quite high anyway. So I have to be prepared to talk to my players about whether they need extra support or not, whether I can help them.
Working as a psychologist, it's a very sticky situation because you can do a lot of harm without meaning to, because you're very keen. So being trained for it is very important. You can't just walk into it and just say, okay, I'm going to use like mental skills on this person. You look at a lot of research, you look at a lot of theory, and you think, right, this is exactly what you need to do based off the research and theory, but then people don't work in that way. It's not zeros and ones. People have emotions, people fluctuate. And I've realized over time, like, I can't read minds, and I try to state that as much as I can of I can't read your mind, so I don't actually know what's going on. Unless I ask the question or unless you tell me, then I can't really help. So if you just lose and then you just go about your day, don't even address it, then you're just gonna set yourself up for failure. What matters most after something like that happens is being able to have a debrief.
We discuss then one at a time what everyone says. So we're hearing now from every player, even the quiet ones who don't normally talk. Everyone's forced to talk. And from that, we have some solutions. I think part of it is just building relationships with players so that they can trust you and being able to talk to you about anything that's going on in their life.
Taking out the red elephants and the green elephants of what happened. Because of Edgar, we were able to do all this stuff.
Even after the loss and stuff, we were able to speak to each other, you know, we still care about each other. Whereas in other teams and stuff, you know, normally they would kind of break down and stuff, you know, and not be able to kind of reset.
Some people view psychology as like, oh, you know, I'm not crazy, so I don't need it. If you get psychological support, then that means something's wrong with you. But then a big branch of psychology is also looking at what's right with you and how can we improve it. So it's not all about just fixing problems. It's also about helping you maintain your strengths. I know tons of athletes who will still compete to this day, even though they've competed for 5, 10 years or competed at the highest level, who will still feel nervous because it means something to them. Like, you'll feel nervous because it means something to you. You don't need to be perfect to perform good. Also, you don't have to feel good. But what matters most is, are you actually able to focus on what you need to focus on? Can you remain present in the moment? Are you where your feet are? So sometimes you just need a little reminder of, okay, this is what I do well.
Self-talk, I have everything I need, and body language. Look like you own the place, look like you're confident in yourself, look at each other, you guys have everything you need.
Having a champion mindset means so much more than just winning games. It's about the battle won in the mind.
Life is very chaotic and sport is very, very, very chaotic. And being that person that's holding their hand in the midst of chaos and drama is something that I find personally meaningful, and reminding them that you guys are still the capable people who can win in this way. You're still the same person. It's just about maintaining that more and still supporting each other through this endeavor. And for me to pursue a meaningful life means helping people also pursue their meaningful life. So that is why I'm in esports, that's why I'm in sports, and that's why I continue giving support from a psychologist's point of view.